Welcome to another Secret Influence TV interview. This channel influences people who are influencers or inspires. So they're people who influence or inspire others. And every week I interview someone different. So I'm really excited because I've got Murrell on the show. And Grant is someone who is an expert at communication. He's going to be talking about success as a formula and what that means. See, communication is so important. To me, I'm passionate about it, I'm fascinated by it. I'm the author of the book, Secret Influence, Communicate and Persuade with Power, as I think good communication and influencing are some of the most important skills in life for success. And on this show, everyone I interview ends up inspiring me, and I always learn something myself. So over to Grant. Welcome, Grant. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for inviting me onto the show. This is great. I've been watching it, and I love what you do, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Great. Well, I'm just going to start with a few sort of quick fire questions just to get to know you a bit better. So any preference, vacation abroad or staycation in the UK?
Okay. I love travel, Nick. I absolutely love travel. So for me, it's vacation. I love going on a holiday.
Vacation. Man off my own heart. I mean, I love traveling too. Any opportunity. I think after COVID restrictions, I'm more excited for any opportunity to get abroad more than ever. Yeah. What a favourite radio station? I know actually you speak and you present on a radio station yourself, but do you have a favourite radio station?
Do I have my own radio station? No, I've been offered to be part of a radio station, to be one of the directors, okay, members of one, of which I was really excited about becoming a partner. Well, I was a board member of one, but then I was asked to actually be one of the owners, and I thought about that, and then I thought, and this is a key point actually, I thought, no, it was not my intention to be an owner of a radio station, because that would bring other responsibilities with it, and that would be a distraction of time. Although it's a great opportunity, I was really grateful to be offered that. I thought it was never my intention to be the owner of a radio station, rather more, but to be a radio station presenter. So I politely declined and was very, very chuffed, because I just knew, like anything, it takes time. And I didn't want to get distracted.
Thank you. And next question, do you have someone in life who you admire? Is there anyone who inspires you? Anyone it can be someone you know, and it can be a mentor, it can be anyone. Is there anyone in life you admire?
Has anyone inspired me in life? Yes, many, many people inspire me and continue to inspire me. And of course, that happens on an almost daily basis, and it can come from the most obscure reasons. It can come from the gurus on stage, the Anthony Robbins, the T. Harv Ekers, my coach, a guy called Mac McAtram, a fantastic guy. People like that can inspire me. But also my mind will go back to, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, when I was in a different industry, and I had occasion to knock on a schoolmaster's door.
Okay.
Schoolmaster's house in the middle of Kent, in the countryside, and I don't even know where this place was now. It was approaching Christmas. It was a cold crisp morning, and this very old sort of Victorian school with a church, with the headmaster's cottage next to it. It was that kind of. Knocked on the door, spoke to the guy, and he was not the headmaster, but he knew of the headmaster, and I had to give him something. And he just started a conversation about this headmaster, and told me a very, very funny story of when his headmaster was very, very old, and probably was in the latter years of his life, and probably knew that, and that he went on holiday with a school and completely out of character, had a wild time, and they said, don't do it. He said, hey, listen, at my age, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to get another chance. And I remember standing there being inspired by this person's attitude, by someone I'd never met, never even spoken to, but And a coincidental 10:30 a.m. on a Thursday morning 20 odd years ago, I'm talking to a stranger who's telling me about a stranger in a most unexpected 5-minute conversation on someone's doorstep. And I thought, what a fantastic attitude to like. And I've never forgotten that. And that has also inspired me. So my point is, Nick, you can get inspired anytime by anyone. It's not just the gurus. Yes, it is the gurus, and they say some fantastic things, but it can come from politicians, economists, plumbers, electricians, nurses, mothers and fathers. Some of the most profound things I've heard have been from my parents. Perhaps at the time, I never really thought it was quite that profound.
No,
they said I did. Some things I did and some I didn't. But as you mature, you look back, it stops you dead in your tracks one day and you think, oh my. That was a golden nugget, but I just walked right past it at that moment. Yeah.
I agree with you that anyone can be inspiring, and I think what makes a great leader is having the ability in some ways to motivate, inspire others. And I heard a saying, we don't always remember what people say, but we'll always remember how to make us feel. And particularly with events, the best events we go to or courses or training, are the ones that we get that whole experience. We feel motivated when we leave. And that's in some ways more important, I think, than the content. But motivation, is why we behave a certain way and why we think a certain way, why we make certain decisions. So, I think that's so a point you shared, which was spot on to me. Two more questions. Do you have a favourite quote?
I do have a favourite quote, and it's probably, there's two that spring to mind. There's so many quotes. I used to run business groups, and each week I would say a positive quote. So I used to have loads of them. But two that really spring to mind. One is one which I'm sure you would have heard many times before. And there's probably a good reason for that, because it's so poignant. And that is, if you do what you always did, you get what you always got.
Okay. Nice.
And it is so true. You continuously see people using the same strategy that hasn't been working for them again and again and again, which basically equates to banging your head against a wall continuously and wondering why your head hurts. If something's not working, change it, measure it, change it, see the difference, tweak and test and measure, split test. All these marketing terms and engineering terms that people use, we need to apply those to our lives and our businesses. So if you do what you always did, you'll get what you always got, is one. And the other one, if I may share a second one with you,
of course,
again, came from a reasonably unlikely source one day. I heard someone else say it. And I have to be honest, this was not one of my quotes. This was one I heard from somebody else, the same as the previous one. And that was, if your boat has not come in, then try swimming out to the boat.
That's a good one. I've not heard it before. I like it. I'm going to use that one myself.
For things to happen, right? If it's not happening, then go and make it happen.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I like the first one as well. I've heard, I don't know if it's Einstein who said the definition of madness is to keep doing exactly the same thing and expecting a different result.
You're absolutely right, Nick. Well done there, because a lot of people attribute the version of that to one of the famous gurus out there who certainly said it, but the first person to say that was in fact Albert Einstein. Well done for knowing that.
Yeah, no, that's stuck in my mind. Funny, I read recently that quotes are one of the most popular type of social media posts, and people apparently are always saying, commenting, that they don't like quotes. There's too many quotes shared, inspirational quotes shared on Facebook. Everyone's sharing. There's too many. They're too cheesy and corny. But actually, the most liked and commented and shared type of post are quotes. So people may say they don't like them, but actually people love them. So a last quick fire question, then we're going to dive into our interview properly, is, do you have a favourite food? At the moment, we're not eating out so much. We eat, perhaps cooking a lot more, eating at home. But do you have a favourite food, Grant?
Do I have a favourite food? I quite like Asian food, actually, Nick.
Okay.
I like Asian food a fair bit. So whether that be Chinese, Japanese, Thai, for example, Indonesian, But I tend to gravitate towards Asian food because it tends to be lighter to eat. It doesn't mean to say that I don't like heavy food and I don't like British food, because I absolutely do.
Sure.
I love food.
Yep, I'm a foodie too.
You're a foodie? Yeah.
I love it. Any opportunity. Right. Now we're going to move on to our interview. So I'm going to introduce you and tell our audience a bit more about who you are. So Grant is an international speaker. He's a transformational expert, certified NLP and hypnosis trainer, radio show presenter, and entrepreneur. So as you can see, Grant, wears a few hats. But over the last 18 years, Grant and his team have helped thousands of entrepreneurs and organizations, businesses around 15 countries increase their profit up 200%. I mean, that is something we all want to do, isn't it? We all know, if we work in business, we need to make profit, otherwise we'll be business long. We all want to make more money, we want to grow. It's a fundamental purpose of business. Grant helps people make more money in less time, have less stress, and have more fun and fulfillment. Wow, I mean, that pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it? So Grant's ultimate mission, which he's going to talk about, is to help people design a life and a business that will embrace their passion, purpose, freedom, wealth, and happiness. I think it's quite a powerful message there. So Grant, over to you. Do you want to tell us what actually that means and what do you actually do, and how do you help people?
Yeah, thank you, Nick. It is something, it is clearly my life's work. It's something I love because there's many ways to help people in life, many ways. But when I look at it, that money is not my God. I'll be the first person, money is not my God. However, it is very useful as long as you get the mindset right and you use it wisely, use it for the power of good. And that's the precursor which I will put into it. Okay. Most people could benefit from making more money. Okay. Because most things, people are generally mostly stressed over money. Okay. Most people are stressed over money at some point in their life. So that's a big thing right there. If you could solve that, it's a good thing. Secondly, I like to help people understand that money is not evil. Absolutely not. It is not. Okay. It is like the analogy I'll use is like a surgeon's scalpel. In the wrong hands, that could be used to rob someone, to hurt someone, to kill someone. Used in the right hands, it could be used to save someone's life. It's not the thing, it's how you choose to use the thing which matters. And money is exactly the same. If you have money, you can help not only yourself and your family, but other people and even communities. You can do a lot with money if you have a purpose for it. And that's something which I may ask people to write down. What is my purpose? Because that's really important. What is your purpose for having one? If someone says, hey, would you like to have all this? Yeah, why not? It'd be great. Have a big house, big car. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I urge people to think a little bit deeper. Why are you doing that? Sure, you're doing it for your family and to put your kids in a nice school or something. I get that. But beyond that, think a little bit deeper. What could you do? What difference could you make to other people with that? What would it allow you to do that you can't now do? So, and that will give you a purpose, because if you ever want to get successful, it's about having a purpose that is bigger and outside of just yourself. That's a key driver. It's like a magnetic draw. That's one of the key, and I could go much deeper into that. But these are the short little tips here, and that's why it's so important. So if I can help people with money, that's it. I can't make people fatter, thinner, more good looking or more intelligent, but then again, to be honest, how you get money isn't just by taking the money actions. It's about the way you perceive yourself, your self-values, your self-drive, and these things. These are the things that really make it happen. i.e., I could teach people strategy all day long, but they probably won't do it.
What I like about what you said there, Grant, is about the purpose. I think you mentioned a word. People need purpose, and I think it goes back to, if you don't know where you want to be, you're never going to get there. And the first thing of any business plan is, what exactly do are you trying, what exactly do you want to do, and why, why do you want to do it, what difference you want to make, but you need to know exactly what it starts with that end goal. I think when you form any plan, you start with that end goal of where do you want to be, what do you want to achieve, be really clear about it, and then you work out how you're going to get there.
You're absolutely right, Nick. And this is, when I look at people, I know what they need. A lot of times we think we know what we need ourselves, but that's rather like going to a doctor and prescribing your own medicine. You don't know what you need. The doctor will know what you need. So it's about understanding. So I look at people and I understand what they want to achieve, and I understand how to get it. The way to get money is by your mindset. I don't mean necessarily to visualization, but really cleaning up your mind and doing a few key things, and then the strategy sticks. Okay. So what I do, I help people to really make more money, which by doing these things, by using the tools you need to get to make more money, quite often there are byproducts in that, such as losing weight. Because I said I can't help you lose weight, get more good looking. But here's the thing. You get more pride in yourself, which probably means you'll exert more discipline, which probably means you may not necessarily go on a diet, a short-term diet, but make some lifestyle changes, which could make you lose weight. Quite often this happens.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
People say that you helped me with my business, but most unexpectedly, my relationship with my wife, my husband, my boss, or whatever has got better. I've lost weight. I've done these things. And they're surprised. They said, I didn't even come to him for that, but my business. But it's all a byproduct of cleaning up your mind, getting more self-confidence, increasing your values, your beliefs, and more discipline. And that's the thing you need to improve your business. And they're the things you need to improve your life. So it works hand in hand. So,
I think what you're saying, it shows that everything is sort of linked, and it's like healthy mind, healthy body. If we're stressed and overwhelmed in work, it'll affect our family life, and we're less motivated to do exercise and eat healthily. But obviously, if we're less stressed and we're focused, we're achieving things in one area, it's going to have a knock-on effect in other areas. So I agree that that is that whole holistic approach to to having balance in all the areas. Well, on to the next question is just to touch on success as a formula. So this is obviously your sort of slogan. Can you just explain a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Thank you, Nick. Yes, success is a formula because I believe it is. When you analyze it, there is a formula to success. There isn't one formula. And this is one of my key things. There are several formulas to success. So the idea of one size fitting all, I don't believe is true. It's about analyzing the person. And this is where I do a lot of human behavior studies. So I analyze the person, understand who that individual is, then I'll know which of the success strategies will work best for them. But there certainly are strategies for success. It is a formula because it can be replicated. If I can prove that to you, if I look at successful people, okay, one of my colleagues again, who I've known and I've worked with, made a lot of money. He made $29 million. Lost it all through bad habits. He'll tell you honestly. Then realized that he had the drills, he'd done the drills, he had the skills, he knew how to do it. He'd done it once, he could do it again. He knew the formula. So he applied it, did it again, boom, has done it. He's just made another $10 million. I'm not saying that's always well. He just made another $10 million. So he made it, could lose it, got it back again. The trick is when you install the right mindset with it, that money stays with you. If you can make money and you haven't installed the right set, that money will drain away pretty quickly. Okay, but once you fall over, graze your knees, make those mistakes, you install those right mindsets, and it comes back. So there is a formula to it, and you can probably see the slogan behind me: the art of extracting latent potential. Okay, what I mean by that, Nick, is that everybody has great potential. I believe that everybody is brilliant. Everybody's brilliant. Most people don't know where they've hid their brilliance. So it's my role, it's my job to get to understand that individual, look inside them, see where that latent potential, where that brilliance is, and to extract it, bring it out, polish it up, give it to them so they can shine their brilliance for the world. And then life gets easy for them. More money, more success, more happiness. As I say, more money, less time, less stress, more fun and fulfillment. They get all these things when they've learned where their brilliance is, and having to bring it out, allay their fears, build on their beliefs, shine it, then they really take off. And their life is literally transformed.
That really resonates with me, because in life we need certain skills, and we need a certain mindset. So we need skill set and mindset. There's two things we need, and perhaps a tool set as well. We need some certain tools, but I think the most important one, I think, clearly is mindset. You know, we can study the skills, we can do a course, we can pay someone who's got the skills. That's always easier to do, but the mindset, I think that's a challenge. That's a challenging thing, and that's, to me, that's the 80% of success in life is having that right mindset. You know, having that focus, that clarity, that confidence, that all the different aspects to build up the mindset for success. I'm a copywriter, and I've worked in marketing for 25 years. I'm really passionate about the whole thing of influence, because I feel if you can't influence people in life, life will influence you, and you need to make an impact. So, for example, if you've got a business, you've got to influence your customers to buy from you, and you're going to be in business for long. If you're in a job, you want to be able to influence your boss to get promotions, to move up. You know, and relationships, you want to influence your children to better behave. So I just wondered, if I was fascinated when I saw that you are a practitioner in NLP, and also, you know, a trained hypnotherapist, is it? So, and obviously those are two ways you can, you know, you have better communication and influence. So do you have any thoughts on how, do you know, how, you know, with what you do, do you train people on how to influence? Do you use you know, your NLP and hypnosis to influence people to, you know, to get more?
Absolutely, Nick. I run a range of courses, which is they can be standalones, as in NLP, which is, for those of you who may or may not know that, that's neuro-linguistic programming. I can use that to help people understand, reframe things that have happened in their life in the past, re-examine previous thoughts, previous beliefs, previous experiences, bring them up to date, update your software as you would. It's just in the same way that you have to update the software on a computer, but on your computer, you get a nice warning saying update software, because if it doesn't, you will get a virus. But of course, we don't get that update with our mind. We're still going around running outdated software. Example, when we were children, we were told, don't speak to strangers. Pretty good advice when you're a child. As an adult, that doesn't work quite so well. There's a very very clear indication of running an old pattern, an old piece of software. Great advice then, but of course, as adults, we need to communicate with people. So that's not a literal example, but it just gives you an example of what I'm talking about. But yeah, we run many patterns, and people say things. Oh, you know what they say, and they'll repeat the phrase, and you say, well, what does that mean? And they'll say, well, I don't know really, but they've been saying it and living by it their whole life. Go to the shops, social distance at the moment, but go to a shop and listen to conversations that people say, the self-defeating language they use. They're killing themselves before they even start. You know, they're not giving themselves a chance. So you can reframe those things. We can also look at success strategies and look at the strategies of success and install those subconsciously into your mind. There's many things that NLP is, but this is the way that I would briefly explain it. Hypnosis, yes, a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis. So I'm a certified trainer in clinical hypnosis. No, I do not make people run about on stage clacking like chickens. That's an amazing skill, but it's not what I do. I help people overcome problems and achieve goals with it. I never use these without people's permission. Never, ever use it without people's permission. I use coaching. I can be a coach. I can be a mentor. So just to explore the differences, coaching is drawing the answers out of people. Mentoring is much more directional, saying, well, look, I've done this myself, and you may want to try that. That's mentoring, which some people can get, but it works once the mindset is cleaned up first. Reason is, unless that's done, whatever you tell people, they reject, because people don't like to be told things.
Sure.
Unless they've really cleaned up their mind and they're saying, just tell me, just tell me.
Yeah.
And although a lot of people say it, a lot of people aren't ready for it. Okay. So I always say to people, hire a coach or mentor, be honest with yourself. Okay. Because sometimes being coachable, it does have to press your buttons for your own purpose to get the result. Whereby coaching will bring it out in you, or bring the answers out of you. Why that's powerful is because whatever we're told we reject, whatever we discover, we embrace. Okay. So sometimes with my work, it is a combination of both. And that's where the skill comes in, knowing when to coach and when to mentor. And with this, you have like human behavior profiling, which is incredibly powerful thing to do, human behavior profiling. And with this, you can use NLP, you can use hypnosis. After a while, it becomes a laminate.
Sure.
Or I can do them as standalone courses. It's all about the conversation I have with the client to see what they need to give them what I call designer medicine. Okay. Sure. The one size fits all, just to get the right blend for that person to understand who they are, where they are in life, what challenges they've had, and what they're trying to achieve. From that, I can get the blend of what they need, give it to them to get the results they need and to extract that latent potential.
I think that links back to the first thing in business is to know exactly who your client is, to create that ideal customer profile and what do they look like, what do they need, because the better you understand your client, the better you can serve them. I think I studied NLP myself, and I'm fascinated by it, to be an advocate for it. I think it's such a wonderful tool. We are creatures of habit, humans, and often our habits can get formed when we're quite young, and we do need to have awareness of our habits and awareness, and sometimes we need to challenge them. And I think sometimes it takes someone else to help us challenge them. And with the whole coaches and mentors thing, we all need. We no one should work alone. We are social animals, and also if you think of the most successful people in the world, so whether it's Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they all have mentors or coaches. I mean, these are people who are the richest, most successful in the world, and they have mentors because there's always someone you can learn from. There's always someone who's done something you haven't done, or so in some sort of capacity, getting some coaching, having a mentor. It's done with those successful people. It should be done by everyone. I think it's the only way we can grow and learn and move forward. So those words, I think they are spot on there. Back those up. Grant, I could talk to you all morning. I've been jotting away while we talk of some of your points you've been sharing. But I ask everyone I speak to if they could share maybe a couple of tips. Because there's so much content, so much value in what you've been saying. Is there a couple of tips if someone wants to be more successful? If it's a couple of things that people could put into place, start working on today. Is there a couple of things you can share?
Yeah, there are, Nick. There are many things you can do, obviously. And these are things that people don't really tell you, but I'll share the tips. Okay. And this is what I help my clients with. There's 3 key things which are simple, but not hard to do. And these are the things that most people don't want to do. But of course, these are the things that some people do and get successful. So bear this in mind. It's about other people in life. They always want to affect the outcome on other people, but they're missing the key point. You can't influence others. You can't affect the outcome on others unless you can learn to affect yourself and influence yourself first. It all starts with us. Even if you look at artificial intelligence, well, who created that? Who designed that? A human being. So that's got to be right first. That's your foundation level. So how do you control yourself? Because you should never control somebody else unless it's for their own good outcome. ethics are really, really important. As an NLP certified trainer, clinical hypnotherapist, and coach, you have a lot of responsibility for people. So your ethics have to be paramount. Okay, that's a really important thing, so that your reputation grows in the right way. It's also congruent for you, which allows you to be sustainable because you're feeling good about what you're doing. When you look in the mirror, you like the person you see, you know, the good person. The other tip I would actually give is meditation. Meditation. Now, some people will say, well, I meditate, I do yoga. Great, fine, whatever. But some form of meditation is really good. Here's why. People are so busy in life. They rush around. It becomes like a badge of honor to be busy. Now, you're busy, Nick, and I'm busy, I know, but we're busy doing things, not just being busy for busy's sake. Big difference there, big difference. Because you need to invest time in yourself, to take time out on a regular basis, at least once a week, at least. Now, this hasn't got to be hours or half a day. It could be 15 minutes. So if you're busy, you know, you've got kids and you're very, very busy, you've got a busy, I get that. But don't tell me you want to be successful doing something else if you can't find 15 minutes to invest in yourself, because you're not going to get there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You will not get there unless you can invest 15 minutes. Because those 15 minutes, you need to clear your head, think, who am I? Where am I in my journey in life? Where do I want to be? And are my actions regular enough and in line with the goal that I said I want to achieve? If not, you need to adjust the compass heading a little bit. Okay. We can easily get so busy that we don't have a chance to ask ourselves these questions. It doesn't have to be complicated, because if you allow time to do that, quite often you think, my God, obviously not. Right. It's only obvious if you dedicate those 15 minutes to look at it. And you do this on a regular basis. Now, I don't care if you do that while you're jogging, you're having a bath, a shower, the kids have gone to bed and you're sitting there. Whenever you do it, but do it. It's your responsibility, key word there, your responsibility, folks, to go and take that time on yourself. You give enough time to other people, you need 15 minutes for yourself, because if you can get this stuff right, you can help other people. So meditation is great for clearing your head. I had meditation techniques that I use because a lot of people cannot clear the head. Well, I can show you how you can do that. Clear your mind and start to control your thoughts, which is the first part of influence, is learning to control your own thoughts, not other people's, your own. That's one thing. Secondly, is what is your intention? What is your intention for that day, that week, that month? Make a plan, a clear plan, not too complicated, a clear plan so that you and your subconscious mind understand it easily. Some of the biggest businesses and biggest endeavors in life have been written. And I get influences, you said, from all different places, sometimes from military leaders. Not that I'm advocating war, far from it, but the planning, the execution, the dedication is just the same as business. You go out with one plan, you get there, the terrain is different to what you thought. You have to adapt. And it is that matters. And one famous general who made a huge, one of the largest battles of all time, said the key to success has to be simplicity. And before we had A4 pieces of paper, it was then known as foolscap. It was about the same size. And he wrote the initial plan on a foolscap piece of paper. And it had at the top, simplicity has to be the key. It was basically mapped out with that. Of course, later there were many, 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 many details, but it had to be simple because it had to be flexible, because he knows You'll go in with a plan, but the terrain is different when you get there. So it has to have room to maneuver. I always remember that as a lesson. It's exactly the same in economics, exactly the same in business, exactly the same in warfare. Some of the best business books, you've probably heard of Sun Tzu, The Art of War, a 3,000-year-old Japanese manual. There's a lot of things you can learn from that. So what am I saying? It's focus. It's clearing your mind, meditation. Secondly, intention. 3, know your desired outcome. Because otherwise, if you don't know, you're never going to hit it. It's rather like going on a long road journey without a road map or a GPS or navigator. You'll end up somewhere, but it probably isn't going to be where you intended. So know what your desired outcome is, make staging posts along the way to check that you're en route. And then you've got to have what I call an evidence procedure.
Right.
Or an end goal. Because if people say, I want to have that goal, I'll ask them, how will you know when you've achieved it? Because if you don't know when you've achieved it, you will never feel that fulfillment. And remember, I said I help people make more money in less time, have less stress, have more fun and fulfillment.
Wow, three fantastic tips there that anyone could start into practice straight away. I think the thing about simplicity relates to everything, because in my work as a copywriter, one of I say about the 3 C's of communication is consistency, clarity, and also consistency, clarity, and concise, being concise. So so basically being concise, less is more, cut it out of in doubt, because people automatically feel when they're writing that add value, they'll write more. They need to write more to add value, but actually the opposite is true. You can make a point in less words, that's more powerful. So simplicity, sometimes we feel we need to make these bigger plans, and they have to be really impressive and complex, but actually some of the simplest plans are the clearest, most effective. And also, influencing others, influencing yourself. Everything starts with yourself. You can't influence others until you can influence yourself. You can't turn your customers into fans until you're passionate and believe in what you do yourself first. So, Grant, we're coming towards the end. Before we finish, there's an event coming on the 12th of December, so it's about a week away, which we're both speaking at. So on this channel, My Secret Influence TV, which I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already, to follow some more of these interviews. What I do is I interview people so they can share their powerful stories to inspire other people, but also share their expertise as well. And this is what this event is going to be about. It's called Empower to Fulfill Your Potential. And it's an event to give you the motivation to get next year started on a high. We've had a stressful year of COVID, we've had a lot of challenges, and what we will be providing is a motivation to fill your potential, to grow your business, to get out of the rut that a lot of us are in. And also we'll have some speakers, experts in their field, giving you tips, practical tips on how to market your business, grow your business, and get more customers, make more money. These are fundamental things, like one thing earlier, what it's all about. If you've got a business, we've got to get more customers, we've got to grow it, we've got to get it out and make more money. So there's 5 speakers, including myself and including Grant. It's on Eventbrite. I'll be sharing the link below. There's still tickets available. We're going to be packing in the content. So for myself, I'm going to be talking about how to grow a unique brand and turn those customers into fans. Because we all have a brand, personal brand, business brand, everything we do and say is part of that. And what you want is your customers to be fans of your brand, to listen to you, follow you, keep coming back and buying your product and telling other people. And I'm going to tell you the secrets to how to do that. So Grant, I know you're speaking at some point on the day, so would you like to share a few words about perhaps why people should attend?
Absolutely, Nick. It's an event which I've been looking forward to for a long time. I think it's going to be great. As Nick said, there's going to be 5 speakers there, all sharing different things. So please, get yourself booked onto that. and invite other people. You know, a lot of success is about taking other people along the journey with you. It's not just about doing it yourself. So it's about environment, being in the right environment with other people who've shared the journey. So if I can influence you, for what to use the word, to do anything, it would be to not only get a ticket yourself, but bring other people along, because you can share the experience, and not only on that day, but you can relate to them afterwards and get that same experience. Okay. So that's really important part, is to buddy up with people, get other people, and continue that journey long after the event. So bring other people there. I'm going to be sharing some of the tips I spoke about today and some others, and going into this and really helping you, because it's my mission to help you take something away at the end of the day. Okay. And of course, there's an opportunity for people who want to really take that further and really get success in their life for 2021. So this event is poised at the latter part of the year, because this has been a really unusual year, as everybody knows. But I'm convinced that if we do this event now and you show up, it's going to make the first 3 months of your year some of the best 3 months you've ever had. So let's round the year off on a good note and start the new year on a fantastic note.
Okay. Thank you, Grant. That's said it all. Let's finish this year on a positive note. Let's start next year on an even more positive note. So this is a flyer, Empowered Potential. I'm going to be showing the details of the event below, and also details of how to get hold of Grant. If you want to know more about anything he said, anything resonates, connected you, then check him out. Check him out on social media. Get in touch. I know he'd love to speak to you. And subscribe to this channel. We've got loads of really great interviews coming up with more people who can inspire you, empower you, and influence you. So that's it, Grant. It was great speaking to you as always. And if not before, I will be speaking to you next Saturday.
Yeah, we will do. Thanks once again, Nick. Great being on your show. Thank you.
Cheers.